Good evening, folks. And we're going to talk about something that I haven't done before. Well, sorta not. It actually has to do with the beer problem. Now, let's all have a drink. Let's all have a beer. Now, I will admit, the old phrase of what Donald Trump always says, go woke, go broke. And it has proven pretty much, well, precisely bad. Now, I will tell you a couple stories here, and they're both true. Years ago, back when I first turned 21, my first ever beer, and the only beer I've ever had since I was in school, the only beer since I turned 21 was actually a Urbosch Juliet. Excuse me. That was my only beer I've ever had. It was a pretty damn good beer. Other than that, I haven't had a beer since. Now, I've had like sips of other beers in my life, but they all were terrible. Bud Light was one. Ugh. Oh, terrible taste. Bush. Ugh. Couldn't stand it. They were all sellouts. And they turn into sellouts right now. Now, Jack Daniels, on the other hand, I've never had Jack Daniels in my life. Now, we look at Bud Light. Supposedly, Bud Light was down only like 30%. But when they jumped on the woke train, actually not, but when Bud Light jumped on the woke train, they went down 50% more than where they actually were. Now they're down 80%. They lost all their sales. They didn't learn from these other woke corporations. Same with Jack Daniels. All their other corporations that were with Jack Daniels went down 61%. Now, the other part of my story was that I went to have a drink of whiskey. Not a drink of whiskey. I had a Corona beer when I was a little kid. I had a beer. I had a fake Corona beer bottle. I had an actual real Corona beer bottle. I dumped out all the beer. This is before I turned 21. The same year I was turning 21. It was actually in August, late August, actually. I wanted to pull a little prank on Mom. Best prank ever. To this day, I still think of it as the best prank I ever pulled on Mom. I dumped out the entire bottle of Corona. I filled it up with water, and soaked out all the alcohol, making sure there's no alcohol in it, and everything. Then I poured Coca-Cola in it, and then I put water in it, and I mixed it up. Makes it look just like beer. I mean, you wouldn't know that was beer or anything in there. You'd think that was actually beer in there. So, I started drinking from it. Mom thought I was actually drinking beer. She says, "What the hell are you drinking, mister?" I said, "I'm not drinking beer." She said, "What the? Well, that's not what the bottle says." I'm like, "You can put anything in a bottle. Here, take a whiff." Obviously, I made sure there was no alcohol smell in it. I took out all the alcohol smelling contents, and obviously, that was a good thing I did, because I probably would have been drunk. And she smelled, and it was just pop. All you could smell in there was the pop. And she went crazy. And she's like, "Damn it, you had me fooled." One of the best publicity stunts I ever pulled on my mom ever. And I'm proud of it to this day. Now, back on to where we were. If I were to get any more beer again, I would probably get some Heineken beer, which is made from the Netherlands. Also might get some Thorn, Thorn wine, if I would ever get some wine. Weingund Thorn, I might get. The whiskey I might get is Sudan Genever, or Genever, depending which way it's pronounced. Those would be my choices of I would ever have. And most likely I would probably drink those when I go to my next high school class reunion. Now, I did have a Chardonnay at my girlfriend's niece's wedding. I also had a champagne with my best friend's group. When we all had a drink there, I had a champagne. So it was fun, good times. We're gonna have some good times. Now we look at why do they jump on the woke train for? Bad news on the Bud Light for Bud Light, because obviously if you're at 30%, or if you're already 30% in the hole, and you want to go after one particular group, it's not a good idea just to go after one group when your main base is like country people, and yet not everybody really likes your beer. You really think gays in particular are just going to like your beer, and yet the upcoming individuals are just going to start drinking your beer because, oh, I like this? You really think they're just going to jump on your bandwagon and start drinking your beer? That's not how that works. And yet, her other counterpart says that we need to start thinking, and its name is Dylan. I can't even stand that person. Oh, that person just makes me want to puke. Every time I hear that last name and first name, I just want to puke. He's a transgender influencer. Trying to influence people to be transgender. Oh. I just feel so sick to my stomach right now. Supposedly, it celebrated 1 year of being a woman, and he got his face painted on, and he partnered up with Bud Light. And with that being posted on Bud Light, everyone that was a Bud Light fan quickly said, "See ya." And they all departed from Bud Light and started drinking other beer. And Jack Daniels kind of jumped on the bandwagon, but even though nobody really did anything like that, they just said, "We support that." Well, see ya. They also disowned them. People went outraged and just started burning them, or they took guns and just started shooting at them. That's not what we do. I mean, we need to do better. I'll be glad to drink an Uberach Juliet again. I'd be glad to drink one of those again. A Chardonnay or a champagne. I'd be glad to drink any of those. Heineken, I might drink that for my upcoming graduation. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, we just need to come together and think things through. Like, does this really need to happen, or are we really doing this? I mean, let's think about this. I mean, I'm not in the mood of dealing all this. I'd rather deal with people who care for that. Well, we all know how that all turns out to be. I mean, Jack Daniels down 61% due to, and its parent company are both down 61%. Bud Light down 30%, well, it's now down 80% of sales. This is what happens when you go woke, you go broke. And now other beers will probably surpass Bud Light and Budweiser and all those other beers that followed suit. So, that's why this is all important. I mean, you don't want to jump on a woke bandwagon and expect to win. I mean, I don't know how else to put that. We just got to be better off with that. And with that being said, just remember, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And you always know that if you ever like to drink, always remember, cheers. I'd be glad to drink a Yenever. I'll be glad to drink a Yenever. Some Young Thorn Riesling. Wanagold Thorn Riesling. Heineken are all my drinks of choices right now. I'll never drink Jack Daniels. I mean, I'll drink some Jim Beam if I wanted. Definitely. Besides, Bud Light tasted pretty badly. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.